One, two, three. We want to welcome everybody to Mom and Dad's house. Where our favorite two people are Mom and Dad. Mom and Dad. Wait, there. We got my lovely wife on today. Nancy says she's going to try to make it. We'll see if she makes it, folks. But we have a very special guest, Dr. Walt Whitman of the Soul Children of Chicago. We want to welcome here. Yes.
Yay!
Here to our broadcast today. We want to thank you, Dr. Walt. Just looking at what you've done here, I'm just saying, first of all, you start an organization to change children's lives. You purposely wanted to make a difference in Chicago. You win a Grammy. God has just really opened up some major doors for you. Qunicy Jones, Aretha Franklin. Even Michelle Obama, bro. First of all, I'm going to ask this question. What made you want to start this great organization?
Well, first of all, and when people ask me about it, I tell them that God has a sense of humor because I never liked children and I didn't like having children's choirs. He said, I was teaching in an elementary school. I was actually teaching at a Catholic church. I was the minister of music at a Catholic church, and they wanted a teacher for their school. Because it always goes hand in hand, and I just took it as a challenge because I never really liked children's choirs. That's why I trained them like an adult choir. That's what people see, and that's the little running joke that I don't like kids, and that God has a sense of humor. And so 43 years later, here I am with the Soul Children of Chicago, still dealing with other people's kids.
And to think about it, obviously you're a Chicagoan. You know what I'm saying? We see the Bulls hat on. You bleeding Bulls, even though they're not doing anything right now, or the Bears.
Well, we praying for them.
That's right. Somebody has to pray for them.
You composing songs and just doing these guys just open. How did this happen? Can you just talk to us a little about how you got to the doing records and how did you meet? Like Qunicy Jones. How did that all happen?
Well, first of all, I'm an Air Force brat. So my father had traveled across the world. And so because we've traveled, I've lived in Greece, I've lived in Alaska. And a lot of what I've learned is what I've put into the Soul Children. So the discipline and the ability to be diverse is what people experience. So everything that they see in the Soul Children is what has been in me, and I poured it into them. And so when people experience the choir, they don't see just the average children's choir. They experience something that is a little bit more than they like. They do what they do, but they're a little bit more diverse as a youth organization, as a youth choir.
But the whole thing, you train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he will not depart from it. And you've been doing this for over 40 years. It's hard. Some people can't even last 2 minutes doing something. What keeps you going?
Purpose. When you understand your purpose, and that's what I teach that with the Soul Children, and is that you understand that when you understand purpose, you're not waiting for people to applaud you. You're not waiting for people to affirm you, because the affirmation comes from God. And so that when you understand that, then you don't get bitter, you don't find yourself competitive, you just find yourself operating in the level of excellence, and doing what pleases God. And that's really what, I don't feel like I'm in competition with anybody, even though people feel like they need to compete. I don't feel like I need to, because I said God continues to keep us going. That's why 43 years later, we're still performing, we're still going places, we're still doing stuff without a record. Whether you have a record on radio or not, it's not depending on whether I have a new project. It's purpose. Purpose keeps us working.
How many do you have in your choir right now?
It's about 40.
All right.
35, 40.
And you got a large range from 7 to 17.
Yeah.
You really, and they're professional. You know what I'm saying? You're grooming them to be professional.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like I said, because you gotta know how to act. My wife, she'll ask you some questions because she's a music teacher.
Oh, okay. Well, then she understands.
I understand. Yeah.
We right here.
Because you're dealing with all. My dad's a teacher. He's a former teacher.
Oh, really? Retired teacher. Not tired, just retired.
Not tired, but okay. I got you. I'm coming your direction.
And to do that, you know what I'm saying? That takes a lot of patience. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot of endurance. It takes a lot of purpose and vision. And what made you want to do an album with kids?
I mean, because we had really kind of somebody approached me first, and then the project that we did with I Am Records in 1987, which was the first We Are One project.
Yes.
Right.
And just now going back in history, now I've got a brother here writing a book, and he was saying that Soul Children was one of the first children's choirs to hit Billboard on their own.
Come on.
As a youth choir. So our history on Billboard is being the first children's choir having their own project. A lot of times you have children's choirs backing up somebody, or you have a children's choir with somebody else and they're backing them up. But Soul Children was the first one on Billboard for any length of time that had their own project for the first time.
So I have a question. All right.
Yep.
You started in 1981. Those children grew up, went on and moved on. Did any of them encourage their children to get into your choir?
I got them now.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I got 3 of them in there right now.
Okay.
I know your mama, know your grandmama too. You know,
I know your mama, great mama, everybody else. I said, I know your ancestors. Keep it up.
Okay.
Better be good because I know your mama.
Can you?
Question? Yeah, go ahead.
Can you? Yeah, I have like just 2. So, I'm just amazing job. I love everything about your choir. But I wanted to ask about what's the story behind Perfect Praise? You know, we sing that and all of the churches, so what's the story about? How did that come?
I'm going to ask that question. I guess that's the $1 million question everybody asks.
$1 million question.
Because Perfect Praise and the song there's nothing in that song that says anything about perfect praise. Brenda Joyce Moore was a great friend of mine, and when we was recording the project, we recorded that live at the Civic Opera House, and that was another one. We're probably one of the only children's choirs that have recordings live from the Civic Opera House. But the name of the project, the name of the concert was Perfect Praise. Right. Brenda was determined to feel like I'm going to have the title song, so she decided to name the song Perfect Praise. It had nothing to do with Oh Lord, How Excellent. Even though being excellent is perfect, how be some ever.
Right.
It was based on the title of the concert.
Okay, I just wanted to know because it's a beautiful song.
That's Brenda Moore.
I love it.
It's a beautiful song. And then will you tell us, our listeners, a little bit about the Democratic Convention?
With the one that we just did?
You recently sang, yes, in Chicago. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I mean, a lot of time. Well, we did the Democratic Convention when it was in Chicago the first time.
Time in 22.
Whenever that was, long time ago. And I don't remember, but we've had relationships with the people who were working in the Democratic conference. And so the young lady that called us was somebody that when we did the inauguration for President Obama, she remembered working with us in DC. And when they got to they called her in Chicago, and she was saying they needed a choir, they needed somebody to perform the national anthem, and she just said, "I thought about you immediately." And so she called us 2 weeks before, and to go through all of that.
We know about that.
Yeah, we know about that.
It comes like so fast because I used to be the director of the Mutual of Omaha Gospel Choir. And, we sang for Bush, and it was the same type of situation where they call you, are you ready? Boom. So I know about that.
And then you got to get past security, White House security.
Yeah,
because we didn't get approved. We had a couple of kids that did not even get cleared until that day.
Wow. Yep.
When we got to the gate, they waited until we got to the gate.
What do they do when they clear you?
Well, they got to go through metal detectors. They got to do background checks.
Well, it's the background check, which was the piece. The metal detector wasn't the issue. It was the
background check.
The background check.
Right.
Because we had people that could not pass the background check because they had some stuff that we didn't know about that.
Were you trying to save them all? You trying to save
All
them all?
right.
It's the soul children of Chicago. You know what I'm saying? You don't discriminate. You just try to integrate and empower.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
love that.
I can't say them all. I ain't trying.
Not everybody can go with you to every place because they got to get the act together. So you've been to Carnegie Hall, the White House. You know,
I ain't been to Carnegie, not yet. We've been
not,
invited. We ain't been yet.
not yet, not yet. Okay, I was reading the article there, but this is the question I have. You sang for Michelle Obama, right? Was that when she was in the White House or out of the White House at that point?
She was in the White House. She was the first
Okay,
lady at
so
that point.
and I want to. So being a fellow Chicagoan and singing for Chicagoan in the White House, how did you feel about that?
Oh my God. You know, it was just, I mean, the honor for first of all, that she even knew who we were.
Yeah.
She requested us, but I did not know that she had been following us and she had actually been in our concerts, but she wasn't Michelle Obama as we know her. She had just been in as a, I guess, with whoever she was with. She was
Whoever, right.
He said, "Oh, I've been at your concert. I was at your Christmas concert. I was at this." Da, da, da. I said, "Really?" I said,
I didn't see you.
I didn't see you, but we didn't know you as Michelle.
Michelle, right.
Yeah, we know you just. I mean, you were just a guest in the crowd.
And I think it's a great thing that you're exposing these kids to such wonderful icons in the business as well as learning the business. What was one of your moments? I mean, when I look at Qunicy Jones, Aretha Franklin, you know what I'm saying? All these icons, what was the one that really just like brought you like, wow? I mean, they're all wow, but can you just get one of them? I know it's kind of hard.
Probably well, I mean, it depends on. I guess it depends on how you look at it. Probably the one that we connected with the most, but might be Gladys Knight. She was always we did the Motown special, and so we had to go into the studio. They flew us to LA, and we had to do a track for one of the songs she was doing. And so she said, "Well, look, I want to go to the studio." So we got in there that day, and we was in the studio like at midnight for a show that's going to be the next day. And so we just bonded, and she fell in love with us. We fell in love with her, and she's always been a friend. She's always been support. She said, "Whenever you need me, call me." I said,
Wow.
"Okay."
I mean, it's amazing that, that you got inspired, first of all, to make a difference in Chicago, and you continue to make a difference, and you continue to do this. What's one of the things you can tell our audience when they want to start a choir that works with young people? What's one thing that you'll say that you need to have?
First of all, I have to be committed. That's number one. But I would say that you have to really know that you're called to this, because you can start it, but that don't mean that you can finish it. That even though you start something, if you don't have what it takes to maintain it,
Right.
it will only last for a short period of time, and it will disperse, because the kids change, and kids are looking for they want something that is very consistent. Even that this post-pandemic group, they just as wacky as they come, but they want consistency.
Yeah.
And so if they know that you're consistent, they will, and you're authentic.
Yeah.
They will always follow. Well, they will follow you, and the parents will follow you. Sometimes to a fault, because I have my parents that follow me and just throw their kids out. That's like, you just trust me like that. You just don't throw your kids at me, right? And just leave them. Just drop them off. Just leave.
Just dump them. I got to take them back. What?
I said, "Come and get your kids." I said,
"This is not a babysitting service, nor is it a traffic service."
And I tell them, I'm not a social worker. I don't do therapy. I'm not here. Don't bring me your problems and then you want me to work out your issues that you have at your house.
And you're not the restaurant. I don't feed your kids.
I had two this past weekend. I got a two twins, and the parents can't get them to the rehearsal. But I just said, I'm going to help you get back to your house. We're going to figure out how to get you back and forth. So we're going to Uber you, but don't get caught up. I'm not your daddy, and to get you back and forth to rehearsal.
And I remember my wife doing her rehearsals with young people. That was the problem. Parents would be late, hours, because you can't leave them by themselves without an adult there. It's just tough. And for you,
and that's at work too. I mean, I do chorus before school, And I have about 40 kids too. And it's just like folk. I mean, I used to do it after school. It was 6 o'clock, and I'm like, I need to go home. I need to go home. They really trust you. They do really trust you. The parents trust you a lot, and they are appreciative of what you're doing. I want to ask one more question. How are your rehearsals? Do you have how many do you have per week? Do you have leads that like sectional leaders and all those good things?
Not in this group necessarily. Well, I mean, I take that back. The kids that have been in the choir longer because we got a new crew, but the rehearsals are very structured. So because of the structure, it really puts that discipline level in them. It gets them, they know we're gonna have prayer. They know, and we have a prayer line actually, which is another spiritual part. Every morning at 6 a.m. we have prayer before they go to school. And we have the parents and alumni that comes on. And we've been doing it now 15 years plus, Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. And, and it's called The Vine. And that's where we kind of, we focus our spiritual root there on the Vine. That's how we have been able to sustain ourselves throughout all these years, through all the things that we've gone through. The prayer line has been that focus where they come in and they can lead it. They lead it. They come in, they pray. I got the two of my kids. They are there before I even get there. They are every morning. They make sure that they're there every morning.
I mean, that's so amazing. Before I know we're coming up to the minute here.
Yeah.
But out of all, that's a lot of kids. 43 years.
Right.
A lot of kids.
The
question I have is, which one has stood out to you of all the kids coming out of your program that says, wow, they did great? Because I know you get the discipline in them. And you can't pick one if you want to, but because can you just tell a little bit about some of the kids that
you don't have to say their name.
But you have to say their names.
And the ones that I'm thinking about it would be the ones that you would know, or maybe know. One is the pastor of Potter's House in Fort Worth, Patrick Winfield. He's the pastor of Potter's House, and so he's now. So he was with me at the beginning, and he was he started with me in the third grade as my original soul child.
Amazing.
And I saw it in him in third grade. I never knew that he was going to move to the place where he is now on the major platforms and as the major speaker across the country, around the world, because he's like next under Pastor T.D. Jakes. And then on the urban side, we've got David Hollister.
Really?
Mr. Crooner himself.
Yes.
I have a quick question for you. Now, you direct? Do you play an instrument, piano, organ, or whatever?
Yes, I play keys and I'm a vocal trainer and a clinician.
Sometimes I like to hook up and listen to you perform.
I play, and people are shocked because I hire people to play. I don't play. I play in rehearsal. If you come to my rehearsal,
but you do know how to.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
Oh yeah.
I'll hold a whole service down now.
That's what I'm curious. Yeah, that's what
he may not do it himself, but he definitely has a whole service. Like, look, I can handle it if I want to. So you can't tell me you can't hit that note. I'm going to show you how to hit that note.
I was a minister of music of several churches. So
all right. Okay.
Well, like I said, we want to thank our good mutual friend AJ Parker for first of all, that's our buddy right there. AJ, we're gonna give you some love.
She'll be with me on Saturday.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
We're having what we call Soul Center Village, where it's our outreach giveaway where we're going to give away. We got about 600, 700, 800 kids, families that are coming, and we've partnered with the Salvation Army, and we're getting ready to give out these toys and have performances and just bring holiday cheer to the city of Chicago. So the mayor's coming and some of the political figures, they're coming.
Right.
We represent Chicago well, you know what I'm saying? So we despite the Bulls thing going on there. Everybody knows I'm a Pistons fan.
It's okay to be a Bull.
It tells me a little differently. That's all right though. That's all right.
It's all right.
Yeah, they can have a bull or be full of bull. Depending on how you.
We love it. We love it. So
I would come to Chicago, but I'm afraid my car would get stolen.
oh Lord.
You know what? Oh, we're being petty tonight. Oh,
No, I'll come to one of your conferences. Merlin and I will be there.
We're only 90 miles from
not all
here. So we can fly down to Chicago.
That's
From
right.
Michigan, we get a little petty every now and then. You're not Michigan.
we will pray for you. Then you'll be covered. The angels.
If they steal my car,
Wait a
though,
minute. Wait a minute. Where are y'all at? Where are you at in Detroit?
No, Niles, Michigan.
We're in Niles.
We're only Niles.
Yeah, we're Niles, Michigan. We're only about 90 miles away from it, right across from South Bend, Indiana.
Have you heard of Niles?
No.
AJ went to school at Lake Shore, Three Oaks. And we're only like 25, 30 miles from Three Oaks.
I know where Three Oaks is. Yes.
Yeah.
We're not too far from Three Oaks.
We're 8 miles from South Bend, Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Okay. I got you. So that means y'all. Is it a small city?
Yeah, it's not a large city.
Town.
It's a small town. So if you ever feel the need to come to Niles, we'd love to have you come. I have in my home two pianos and I have an organ, B3.
Oh, really?
This is the house right behind me.
Oh, so you're the music. Were you playing for your church at one time?
A little bit.
Yes.
A little bit.
We both do.
Okay.
She's been playing since she was what, 7 years old.
Now, is Daddy? Are you the pastor or you a deacon?
No.
He's an elder. He's an
elder.
assistant pastor. So but like I said, we're gonna have you on again, Walt, if that's okay, Dr. Walt Whitman.
I would love to come.
Yeah.
Because y'all
for
here
having
in a minute. This has been fantastic. It's been enjoyable. First of all, I want to thank you for coming on the show. And
Yes,
folks,
thank
just
you.
remember this. You know what I'm saying? You can do all things through Christ which strengthens you, and you just got to commit and believe and just go out there today. Be inspired.
Amen.
If you're not inspired today, I hope you get inspired.
Amen.
So I will see your mom and dad.
I know how to get in touch with you so we can get in touch with you.
Yes. Information. Yes, you can just text me or whatever.
Okay.
All right here. And I'll come to Niles.
All right.
We'll make that happen.
Have you.
Right.
I'll fix a nice meal for you and whoever you bring with you.
And her apple pie is off the chain.
The apple pie?
Off the chain.
I've just lost control of my own show.
You lost control.
I'm gonna end it.
I lost total control of my show tonight.
I'm gonna end the
Next time
show.
we'll see you on Mom and Dad.